Good morning, everyone. Ron Nicoletti here, along with Brian Netto, and we are back on the turf. The turf course is listed as good. And hey, Brian, you get a shot of all three surfaces here at Gulfstream Park.
Ronnie, that's an awesome photo. That's an awesome video right there. The sky and the three surfaces, which we'll be getting up and running on Thursday. So pretty exciting, right?
Sorry, Brian. Yeah, we got 4 races on Thursday. So that is the Tapeta surface. That'll be for Thursday. But today, fast main track, good turf course, really nice day yesterday. The Stronach 5, I think, paid $3,700 once again. And the only two price horses right here at Gulfstream. There you see it up there, $38.71.
Yeah, that's, as I mentioned yesterday, good work if you can get it. I mean, $15 is 6 to 1. So a heavy single at the end, a couple favorites, and a couple that were, not crazy hard to come up with. So it just goes to show what a great bet this has turned out to be. I mean,
easy for you to say with those 2 races at Gulfstream Park. So we have also a $250,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which starts in race number 7. Of course, we got 4 stakes races this afternoon, and one of those stakes is in the early pick 5. And let's check out your ticket.
Yeah, I've got a $30 ticket here, a little spread early on, and then it condenses down later. We'll talk about the opener in a second, 2, 6, 8, 9 for me. Here's the spread in race 2. I did not have a strong opinion in this maiden special weight. State breds for 2-year-olds, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, as you can see. Mr. Rum Runner on top for being Cone. Didn't take a lot of money on debut. Lost to a big clear winner. Put that one on top. Then in race 3, here's the single. Cezanne, my best bet of the day. Off to claim for Carlos David, a 39% angle. Really woke up last time, and I think shortening up a little bit, he'll get more pace to rally into. 2, 7, 9 in race 4, and that's actually the exact order. My long shot play of the day, Run, Leah, Run in the first of the 4 stakes, the Hollywood Beach. I thought it looked pretty good, Ron, winning on turf last time. Going to be a nice price here today. And the favorites, too, have not tested the lawn. So I think that's, noteworthy as well. And then the single at the end for Safi, California Frolic on the maiden special weight drop, a big 38% move for Safi Joseph Jr.
Yeah, that horse you singled in the stake, might sit the perfect trap. Looks like there's a lot of speed in that race.
There's plenty of it.
So getting to the first race, and the best part of the day so far, as I could say, the turf course is good. 5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claiming filly and mares, 3-year-olds and up, 12-5. Scratch to 4, 10, and 13. Mr. Miguel Vasquez will be on the number 5 horse in here this afternoon, and the board wide open right now. And Brian, we are completely not in agreement, except with maybe the 2 and the 6 a little bit there. Let's start off with your 8 horse in here.
Yeah, we're not in agreement, but we're in agreement that we're not taking 9 to 5 on the favorite. At least, who's 0 for 19 right now. So I went with Fabiola Princess. I didn't think the 2 turf races were that bad, 2 and 3 back. She cuts back today as well, is going to get plenty of speed to run into. She's got a lot of foundation off those routes, Ron, so I put her on top.
Yeah, I went with the 2 Emperor's Songers, turning back to 5 furlongs, followed a couple of second-place finishes at this 5-furlong distance with a press to pace and fade. That was going 2-turn mile last time out, so I like the turn back. Jose Gallegos, Christian Torres in the saddle today. Mama Longlegs, who you had in your ticket to, was a well-meant second at this level in distance back in May.
Yeah, she's fine. There's no doubt about it. One of these days, water finds its own level, but I don't know about it. 0 for 19, Ron, at a short number.
Yeah, charge 60,000 overnight handicap. I think that's what people are looking at, and I didn't run that well. So, second race this afternoon on the main track. It's fast, 6.5 furlongs, maiden special weight, 2-year-olds, and one of the great part of racing down here in the summer at Gulfstream Park is these 2-year-olds. You get to see these horses starting their career. Not that great for handicapping, but pretty good for wagering. And you went with the number 4 horse in here, and that's Mr. Rum Runner.
Yeah, I think experience helps, right, in these 2-year-old races. The winner last time really ran off the screen. Mr. Rum Runner, 11 to 1 for being Cone. Wasn't really bet that much, but you would think you'd get a little improvement today. It was a good race, a fast race for the level, and he has a little experience edge on the firsters.
I went with a firster in here, and that's the 5 Cajun Bayou, who's the son of one early sire, Cajun Breeze, debuting for Mike Yates. If you follow South Florida racing with Cajun Breeze and Mike Yates, he does a fantastic job with these freshman runners. I wasn't enamored when any of the previews started, so I went this way with Miguel Vasquez, who's got almost 100 wins at the meeting. And I just thought that maybe the way you went with the early pick 5 deep, because you could make cases for a lot of horses, and one of them that you have, I think, in third is Avant Glory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Asafi, firster at the rail. We saw one yesterday, didn't run maybe as well as we had hoped. The dam was 3 for 8, and she won on debut, so I think that's beneficial. Safi's just 11% with firster, so if you're going to beat them, this is the time. With that being said, I think you have to use all our horses here, Ron.
Yeah, we got it boxed around a different way, and Brian used all of those horses. And I think that's the way to go in that race when you're putting your early pick 5 or pick 4 tickets, because the pick 4, we have 3 pick 4s today, starts in that second race. Race number 3 this afternoon, 6 1/2 furlongs. These are claimers. They're 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 35 down to $25,000. And I'll turn it over to you with your best bet of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think Carlos David made the right claim here. I mean, he's 39% as it is, so we know how potent he is. But, Cezanne makes the 3rd start of his form cycle. He really woke up last time. And I like that he cuts him back a little bit, because he's going to get a lot of heat up front to close into. Hasn't necessarily been the case in some of his races. And I just think today is the day for him. For now, just an absolutely potent claiming trainer.
Yeah, I'm 39%. I actually wrote my analysis, a whopping 39%. There, it says it right there. The number 2, Bailey, we have our exacta flip-flopped in here. He's dropping into this 2 lifetime claimer after following that 12-5 state-bred optional claiming score. Had trouble at the start last time out, hopped. He finished 6th and last. That was against 75 optional claimers. It's Safi Joseph Jr. We're not dealing with a first-time starter in it. This is his game, and you're getting Edgar Zayas in the saddle.
Yeah, if he runs back to his prior 3 races, he's going to win. The question is, what happened last time? Was it the start, as you alluded to, or was it a little more than that? I mean, he didn't do a lot of running. It was also against tons better.
In our private jet, the 5 horse in here, I just wanted to touch on, is training well in preparation for first start. Showed some promise in that brief campaign during 2020. This is what this barn does. Georgina Baxter, with these sprinters on the dirt coming off the bench. Marco Meneses in the saddle. Maybe a horse should take a second look at.
Absolutely. I mean, the maiden claiming race, he ran a 10 on the thoroughgraphs. It's a big number in here. The mud, the starter allowance, much better last time. So on the drop, you could see him waking up.
Yeah, let's go to race 4 this afternoon. Our first of 4 stakes races on the afternoon, and this one is 5 furlongs on the turf. These are 2-year-olds. It's the $75,000, the Hollywood Beach, which is about a mile down that way. We're a little to the left, so our neighbors in here. And you went with the 2. You made a lot. I was just doing a radio show, and they were asking me about the 2, and I said, boy, this horse makes a lot of sense. Maybe to sit a perfect trip.
Yeah, you've got him in the mix a little bit underneath. I took a shot. I mean, first of all, the favorites have never run on the turf. So, I think this could be the right time to look for a price. Run Leah Run got to the turf last time and blew way up. Now, it was a slow win, don't get me wrong, but marked improvement from the 2 dirt starts to start his career. Can settle a little bit. There's plenty of outside speed. He's got to move way up, Ron, but the price is going to be right, and he's got some things going for him.
The number 9 was talking about one of the horses that did not run on the turf in the past, his last leave. Now, she's facing the boys, so she's a filly against the boys. She put it all together last time, and when she rocketed clear in the slot to defeat those 75 optional claimers. It was a small field, but it was going 3/4 of a mile. But it's a daughter of not this time. I think bred on both sides of the family tree to respond favorably to the grass, and I really like what Ronnie Spatz does. And I think this horse, if it can translate that recent performance from the dirt to the turf, is the one to beat.
Yeah, she's got 2 wins, too. The rest of the field all have 1. I think that's a big deal. Bullet in the holster since the last romping win, says she's doing better than ever. She would be no surprise at all.
And the number 7, Nerve, is stepping up to face winners. This one was pretty game last time out to defeat those maiden special weight runners for Eddie Plesa Jr.
Yeah, she's fast, too, right? She's the speed of the speed. How far can she take him? They're only going 5, so maybe if she gets brave, opens up, she might forget to stop.
Well, maybe you're trying to tell me something here, because I know you were up in Saratoga all summer long, and you didn't use the 3 horse in here, and that is Barone Sesko, who's making his local return. First start, he followed his maiden victory. He won at 5.5 on the turf up at Saratoga. Then he had that poor showing in the Skidmore, which was moved from the grass to the main track. Antonio Sano, MSCL Jaramillo. Antonio just threw a bunch of horses up there, and this one actually broke its maiden at first asking.
Well, I will say this. I didn't use this horse, Ron, but the fact that Antonio thought enough of him to bring him up to Saratoga says he can run a little bit. So, yeah, you probably got to keep him in your mix.
And he's one of the turf winners in the field, too. So, race number 5 this afternoon on the main track. These are 2-year-olds, 50,000 maiden claimers. And I went with the number 3 horse in here, Mr. McQuay, I think it is. I have to check on that. I was going to play how Pete said it before we came on the air, but ran out of time. Who's stretching out to the mile today after rallying to finish second in his 6.5 furlong career debut. For talking about Mr. Antonio Sano with Miguel Vasquez handling the added distance this afternoon.
A lot of people were looking for your time this morning. I noticed that. Antonio won a couple yesterday here. This one would be no surprise. The winner last time came right back to win. So obviously in good company, experience edge on a couple in here as well. So yeah, I think he's a major player.
I know you used the #1 California Frolic on top of your ticket. He's the son of California Chrome.
Yeah, and, debuted at a mile. That's tough to do in a maiden special weight. So, obviously a big class drop. It was a fast race for the level. Second time Safi Joseph Jr. It seems to think this would be the go time today.
Yeah, Safi's like 38 or 39% with horses making similar class drops in there. The #7, the Twin Sneakers, is returning to the maiden claiming ranks. Here's the reason with this horse. Finished third in its $25,000 debut. Comes back and runs another third against those state-bred runners. When you look at the past performances on paper, I thought the horse ran a little better than what I'm seeing on paper. It just seemed like this horse, it's one of those horses you thought was going to make the right move, and it just didn't happen or unfold. So I thought maybe to throw this one on the bottom part of the ticket for the one and only trainer Happy Alter with Marcos Meneses in the board.
Nice progression, too. 6 furlongs, 7 furlongs, 8 furlongs today, so he's stretching them out a little bit.
Yeah, and his sons are sneaker salesmen, thus the Twin
Dennis
Speakers.
likes them, right?
Yeah, that's their man. Is Dennis their man? So race number 6 this afternoon is about 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are maiden claimers, 3 and up, $25,000. And you have the number 8, Double Blessing. I think you got a replay you want to show.
We're going to take a replay here. He's the 9 horse breaking outside, which is just a dreadful post from going a mile on the turf. It's just a really tough post. He's wide the entire way. He's going to you're seeing him kind of loop here, just threading through, and he's going to get pushed out wide. Not necessarily had a lot of trouble, but it was just a wide journey the entire way. He's only beaten, a half a length, Ron. He kind of loses, I thought he lost focus a little bit here, being pushed out as well. So comes hard late. A better post today. This is a 7 post today with the MTO that's we hope is going to come out. So it's a better post today. I thought he ran well, showed some interest late, and should be a decent enough price in a race around. I just think some of these droppers, some of these layoff horses, a little tough to trust.
Yeah, when you go back and look, that was a pretty good performance. Soda ran maybe a 16th of a mile longer than everybody else almost in that race. When you see it, of course, not that long, but just that wide trip. I did go with the number 6 in his Spring Channel, who's a son of English Channel, which I love on the grass, dropping to the 25 level and debuting on the turf. After showing little in his maiden special weight debut, going a mile into 16th, that was in the slop at Monmouth Park on the main track. It is the first starter back for the fall campaign for Todd Pletcher, MCL Jaramillo in its local debut. So I just thought, I saw English Channel. It's, Todd Pletcher. Maybe this horse wakes up and runs better than it did up north, that's for sure.
Does he have the look of he's winning or he's running 10th by about 19 lengths?
That's it.
I had no idea what to make of him.
You make a good point there.
I don't know. He didn't run an inch on debut, but he's an English Channel trying a sloppy main track. They're not supposed to run, so you would think you're going to get better today.
And you like Royal War too. We both do actually. Turning back to just a little bit to 7.5 furlongs, surrendered the late 2.5 length lead. This one looked like it was going to win last time out, beaten 3/4 for Kathleen.
Yeah, he was the one in the photo there with Double Blessing that was kind of getting late there. Opened up, tired late. The slight cutback. If it was at 7.5 last time, he probably wins.
Yeah, playing musical jockey. Chantel's going to ride that, where MCL's going to jump on, of course, and ride for Mr. Todd.
My Uber driver co-owned the 7 today, so if that's a thing, an omen,
wait, I got to mark that down. That's
right?
like the hunch play of the year.
Yes. He said he said he knew you too, but I feel like
everybody knows.
About 7 million people down here can say that, right?
We take a short break. We'll come back, call his Uber driver to see if he's really serious, and come back with my Rainbow Six ticket. Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. Just almost 11:45 in the morning, and the 7th race today is where the Rainbow Six is going to start, and it's a stake race. It's 1 mile, 3 and up, Florida Red registered. It's the $125,000 Wildcat Air. Let's take a look at my ticket today. And, you know, I was torn. Noble Drama is one of my favorite horses on this scene right here, but Well Defined has been running well. I almost singled Noble Drama just because he's the defending champ in this race, but I had to use Well Defined, and you know who ran good and I didn't use? Chivalry. We'll talk about that horse, that race in a moment. Race number 8, really wide open. I like Dizzy Gillespie, who scratched, so I'm using 3 in there with the Ranger Up, Dr. DJ, and Malibu Max. I don't know if I'm going to get beat by the 5 in there. First of 2 co-featured events is the My Dear Girl division. Outfoxed is going to be everybody in America's single, but I just got a sneaky suspicion the 7, Chuck Calusa, might run well for Larry Ravelli, so I didn't want to get beat. 3 deep in race 10, another wide open affair. I went with Young Flint. And race number 11, Octane looks like the logical one in there. Cajun's Magic's got to prove it can get the distance. Of course, those races a mile in the 16th. And I got my long shot in the last race, and it's the 7, Awesome Winner. I think it's 20 to 1 on the line. Stretching out around 2 turns. Took that positive step forward, going 5. Maybe that's part of the pace at a price in race number 12 this afternoon. So 20 to 1 on the line. We'll see what happens with that. Getting back to the Wildcat Air, you know, I don't know who you put on top, Ryan, but you have Noble Drama back home. What do you make of that race up there? You know, he goes up and runs in the Grade 2 Charlestown Classic.
I mean, that was a big ask, first and foremost. Our collector's going to run in the Woodward at Belmont next week, and he's a player for the Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a funky 3-turn race, too. You know, they took a shot. I don't blame him at all. It's a lot of 800,000, I think, Ron.
Yeah.
Let's just draw a line through. You look at his races back here. He's 6 for 9 at this mile trip. I mean, he's going to hit hard in here.
Yeah, sorry, and defending champ. But let's go back, and the horses I have underneath, and so do you do, and the Chivalry and Well Defined. We're going to just pick them up coming into the stretch. And Well Defined, as I mentioned, just been in great form this year. Kathleen O'Connell, the trainer, actually the owner of this horse, too, liked this horse so much, bought it. And now you say, well, where's Chivalry? It's 6 to 1, and Chivalry's going to come closing, and it was real close at the wire. It looks like Well Defined was getting a little leg weary there. And Chivalry, you couldn't really call it.
No, like you said, he was coming late. There seems to be, I don't know if Well Defined's getting loose today.
Right.
There's other pressure, too. And I think that's a problem for him going a mile, and it just really helps Noble Drama that much more.
Yeah, that was the penny to pull. Yeah, so I just think Noble Drama and maybe Chivalry. You know, I think this one was second in the Florida Derby, or the Chivalry, right? That's 72 to 1, some price like that.
There we go, 80 to 1.
80 to 1, yeah. So race number 8 this afternoon is a mile claimer. These are 3 and up. $6,250. As I mentioned, my top pick in here was Scratch Dizzy Gillespie. So I bumped up the 11 Ranger Up, who goes to the Enrique Amato barn after the claim. Had a 3-race win streak against Similar End when he was finished 4th behind the horse I just mentioned with Scratch. So I just bumped this one up on top of my pick on my ticket.
Yeah, I've got him in second. I think he's a huge threat. You know, 2 for 10 off the claim, so it's not a big sample, but he's shown he can win. Jaramillo is here. He's certainly in really good form. So this post is a good one, too, to be outside. He can kind of dictate to see what's happening inside.
Well, you did use the number 4 in here, and that is Mr. Tito's.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the last dirt race, Ron. It was against tons better. If buyers are your thing, he ran a 72. Ranger Up just ran a 68. I mean, we're not going to get 12 to 1 on him. But it's a class drop. Maybe his form is muddled and hidden a little bit. Edwin Gonzalez says, sure, I'll ride.
Yeah.
You could do worse here. And, you know, 5-6 to 1. I think he's a very, very square play.
You know, the number 9 Malibu Max, I just want to mention this briefly. Dropping to this level after responding in that first race by Bobby DeBono. Absolute clunker, going 16 against those starter optional claimers. But blinkers off, trying to wake-up call. Now, the last race had some of the hard-knocking claimers that way you have around here. Trapezoid, Nacho Papa. Those are some hard-knocking horses. This barn has been going sneaky good, so Bobby DeBona, maybe you throw that horse somewhere. You got a little further down on your ticket.
You know what? He moved up to 4th because I had Dizzy Gillespie in the mix, too. I didn't know what to make of him, Ron, because we know how Bobby DeBona is so good off the claim, and he really didn't get this horse to run. Now the blinkers come off today. The drop is going to help. I'm not sure what's in there, though.
Let's go to race number 9 this afternoon, and this is the My Girl division of the Florida Star Stakes, 1 mile and 1/16th. 1 mile and 1/16th for these filly 2-year-olds, $400,000. And we're just going to go back and just show you what we were talking about with outfoxed in here. So last race, and just wanted to show you that this horse, there was no one around this horse.
I mean, she was awesome, and she kind of looped the field, too. She was wide. It wasn't like she had a dream trip or anything like that. She acted up a little bit prior to the start.
Yeah.
I think Edgar Zayas jumped off prior to the start. They opened the gates, and she was all business. I mean, just absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I thought, I don't know about you, but I thought more horses might run with her earlier, or maybe they just couldn't.
I think they couldn't. I think that's what we were seeing there. I mean, she was.
I'm glad to see you got the 7 Chakaluska in second. Is the daughter of Jess's Dream debuting locally. A new face on the scene.
Yeah, listen, I was with you. I mean, they privately bought this horse from owner-trainer Earl Hughes. We know how good Larry Ravelli is. 37% newcomers into the barn, and you know darn well they called this guy up and said, hey, we want to run. We want to buy this horse because there's a $400,000 race at Gulfstream for her.
Yeah, let's show you a stat with Larry Ravelli with his domestic shippers who ship into Gulfstream Park. He's 10 for 40, 25%, 52% in the money, 235 the ROI, and that's just the past 2 years. So when I see Larry, bringing a horse down here, they're well meant, put it that way. So pretty good race. Underneath, I went with Devilette, and he was stretching out to the 8.5. Rallied strong, was second behind now Fox. You couldn't see that this one was second. And the daughter of Kozan should like the other distance.
I mean, we're right with you. I agree. I mean, I thought she ran well, Ron, because she took some pace pressure. She held on nicely. She got obviously, overtaken by the wake that was out Fox. She held nicely. She could have given it up. She still got second.
Let's go to race 10 this afternoon. A mile on the turf. Claim is 3 or 4 and up. Non-winners of 2, 12, 5. And here a couple of scratches of the 3 horse, I think, the 7 and 14 to 15. 13 is going to get in and run. Pete will be up momentarily right after we're done to give you all the scratches you need. You and I, Young Flint, one of the angles I like, the only 2-time turf winner in the field.
Yeah, Bob Hess off the claim does a solid enough job, 14%. He's having a good meet, Bob Hess Jr. I think there's a lot of reason to think this horse fires a big shot today.
Wow, another try.
I know.
What's going on here?
Great TV, huh?
The number 4 Majority Rules is turning back to a mile, due for lead, finished second when facing, for Ernesto Ochoa. Jose Morelos handling the turn back. Jose Morelos, joined us here this summer, maybe a little under the radar, but he's a pretty good rider.
Yeah, to be 10% with some heavy hitters in here is not bad at all.
Yeah, well, we got the same try. Joe Benjamin's going to lock it up. Let's go to race number 11. This is our other feature event of the afternoon. 1 mile and 1/16th. Florida bred 2-year-old Colson Geldings. It is the $400,000 in reality. And this is where I think you can, maybe spread around a little bit and get something done in here. I mean, Octane is the logical one, but I know you had some interest in the inside horse today, and that is Clapton.
It's a reach. We'll show a replay here. Just how bad his start was last time, and he just lost all chance. And you're going to see him here. He's a 3-horse. He goes hard to his knees at the start. The race is over. I mean, Chantel Sutherland, has nothing to do here. She just grabs him and hopes to make a little run, and that was it. The race was over. I thought he was sneaky okay that day, and obviously we can draw a line through it. You go back to the maiden run, Ron, it wasn't bad at all. And, we talked yesterday. I was looking for pedigree in this race, and who's a 2-turn pedigree? And you've got Brethren on top, but you've got a Fleet Alex on the bottom here. And I would think the added distance and the extra turn is going to help Clapton. He's drawn perfectly inside to save all the ground. He's not going to be on the lead, but he's not going to be far away either. And he's going to be a huge price, too. You can talk about Octane, and I'll add him in. He is clearly the horse to win. It's a different scenario today, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like that choice of yours with that horse. I talked to Chantel will be showing a little later on this afternoon, and she was very high on this horse after the maiden win. And I asked her, what do you think about the distance? She said that, in the last race, where she got cut off a little bit, she had a re-rally, and that to her meant that this horse has the ability to stop and maybe go and handle a distance of ground. With that said, we'll talk about Octane right now. He's a gelded son of Brethren and a full brother to a multiple stakes place runner from around here called Gatsby. Stretches out. That's the big question for everybody. Had that maiden victory at 5. Driving score in the 7 furlong, the firm division for Carlos David. And I like the bullet work, and 59-2 looks like they drilled some speed into this. this horse this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, it's octane to catch. There's no doubt about it. Now, there is other speed. I think he really gets helped by the short finish line. That's definitely going to help him. He might wake up 3 clear off the far turn, and then they're not going to catch him. But, you know, he ran so big last time. He ran so fast last time. He runs the risk of the bounce, possibly, and the added distance and turn. So is he the most likely winner? Absolutely. Are you allowed to take a shot against him? I think you are, too.
And, you know, the number 2 horse in here, Cage's Match, was poised to answer that question. Can he handle the racing around 2 turns after following his victory? That was in the 6 furlong Dr. Fager division. And he comes back and he runs second, and he affirmed Mike Yates, Jesus Rios atop the son of Cajun Breeze. I thought if this horse can get the distance. Now, I say this, we had a Cajun Breeze that we said, okay, they're sprinters. We had one win in a 2-mile turf race here a year or 2 ago. So this horse might be the sneaky one to get the distance.
Yeah, and he's got the running style to play here, too. And I think that's the question. Can he get the distance? Can he get the 2 turns? If he can, he's going to have a huge chance because he's going to settle a little bit while Octane and maybe some of these other horses are doing the hard work early.
And I used up big and classy, the 5. He's stretching out to this mile in the 16th after closing to finish 3rd behind the top 2. In the affirmed, David Fork, Sammy Camacho, son of the big beast. Hey, maybe if things get dicey up front, a horse like this, I don't know what he is on the morning line. I think 6 to 1. So, you know, maybe a horse like this sits the trip. The point I'm trying to make, it looks like Mr. Mott's horse in the 9th might be okay, but this race to me is where you make the money betting.
I think that's perfectly said. Heavy favorite you can lean on, and maybe one you're not you're a little against.
Right. Race 12, the final race on the card is a mile on the turf. Maiden claim is fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. And Brian and I are not in agreement finally.
No shocking
like
here.
that. So I know you had Fast Life, some interest in Fast Life. You want to go back and show this horse's starter, I believe.
Yeah, this is the race 2 back. The number 4 horse, Fast Life, in this spot here. And you can see the start and going into the first turn. It just didn't really work out that day. He checks a little bit at the start, and he's going to get inside here and check out of it again. And I think this is important because if you look at his prior races, excuse me, here's checking out of it again, can't get through there, and you know, that's about it. But if you look at her prior races, you can see she wants to be a lot closer, and she wasn't able to do that that day. So I think, and we'll draw a line through the terrible post last time, she's a big price. You're trying to blow this up too, right, Ron? So we're on the same page here. Yeah. She's a big price. She had some trouble. I think she'll be closer today. And I don't care who you tell me the horse to beat is. You know, they all have knocks in here, and that's why we're looking for a number.
Yeah, 15 to 1 in yours, mine 21. And here was my thought on it. The number 7, Awesome Winner, who's stretching out around 2 turns. I thought the horse took a positive step forward when she rallied to finish 3rd. That was her 5 furlong debut on the turf. So key to me that maybe this horse could handle the grass. She's a daughter of Awesome, of course. Maybe she goes up there. I don't know if she's fast enough to just set the pace, but you would think with the stretch out, she's going to go up there. Maybe she's part of the pace at double-digit odds. If not, win it, maybe hold on to grab it. She had why? Of course, the race is just so wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe she gets brave hitting the far turn, and there's going to be a lot of horses that aren't really too intent on passing horses in the lane.
Well, that's how we see the 12-race card, but we're not done yet. We're going to switch over to our lightning round this afternoon. And, of course, the big news, and Brian and I alluded to it a little earlier, on Thursday, Tapeta. The training began just yesterday, actually. Now you're going to see one of the horses just going out there, seeing how it feels. You can see how nice it looks out there, and interesting it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's a great move, Ron, because, you know, it's going to keep some races together this winter, obviously. We'll see how it plays out. Handicappers, we talked about it yesterday, you know, you're going to have to get a feel for it. How's it going to play? Is it, you know, is it off the pace? Is it speed holding? We'll see, but it certainly looks great. They've done a phenomenal job, and I'll look forward to getting it going on Thursday.
Yeah, you're going to use your, you know, you got to still make all the remarks down and see what paths are good, so it's going to be a fun thing. Next thing we want to talk about this bet that we mentioned yesterday. We're going to mention again today. A first bet and express bet offering money back special on Gulfstream's 4 races today. So, yeah, I think you get the $10 back, I believe, or something like that if your horse wins. Or
yeah, and it's a perfect bet for races today because we've got that strong favorite in Out Fox. So you take a 15 to 1. If she's good enough to run second, there you get your $10 back. You fire again. So I think it's a great spot today to do it.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention our sister track too today at Santa Anita has got a unbelievable weekend on October 1st to October 3rd with Seven Breeders' Cup winning, you're in races.
Yeah, they're going to run the Awesome again, which is shaping up as a huge prep for the Classic. Tripoli, Medina Spirit is going to be out there. Express Train, Idol. So it's a huge classic prep. Two-year-old races on Friday. It's a lot of excitement at the Great Race Place.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun out there. And we got root for one of our horses here, and that is a horse that won the Silks Run here in 2021. Karatari is going to run today in the Grade 3 Turf Monster at Parks. And I just wanted to go back. He was 7-5 this afternoon and thought ran a really nice race. So we'll see if this horse, we like our horses that run down here and win stakes. We like to follow them through the summer.
And he ran huge last time at Saratoga in a great renewal of the Troy. And when Karatari is right, he's a course record holder, I believe, at Saratoga. When he's right, and you've seen him, as you mentioned, down here being right, he's very, very good.
So that is the lightning round. Brian and I gave you our thoughts about the 12 races. We'll be back throughout the afternoon. I hope we gave you some useful information. What do you think?
Well, to be determined, right? You got 12 spots, 12 races today to figure it out. So good luck, everyone.